is 250 years old. Only 1% of all the museums in the world would have anything like this. The second piece was human skin. They took the skin off and dried the skin out. Hello from Thailand. I am proud to say that with the work that's been done on this thangka from Tibet, produced between the ages of 1750 and 1820 Anno Domini. So this piece is 250 years old. It was made in a place called, most likely made in a place called Shagatsi, Tibet, which is now part of China. And this central image is from the lineage, the founder of Nyingma Tibetan Buddhism, called Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche is actually in this image. You would think he would be the central image, but he is this image here, because what this shows is the descendants of the lineage of the founders of Tibetan Buddhism. The photographs we were able to identify just from the photographs alone that were such high quality. The photographs were able to determine through AI, through the museum websites, that it's full silk, 100% silk, hand loomed. And the origin, we can tell from the photographs alone that the origin is in Tibet, Western Tibet. We were also able to determine that the pigmentation, the paint, has been painted on the outside, as opposed to being each line of silk is already woven. Now this was woven first as one full piece of silk and then painted on by hand for each and every one of these parts, which would explain why this is one of the rarest, in the top 1% of the rarest of all the silk thangkas ever produced, because it's painted on both sides. Usually you find the work not on silk but on muslin, and it's been rubbed very soft. It could be animal hide, rubbed very soft and then painted on the outside. But this is double-sided silk. Only 1% of all the museums in the world would have anything like this. And before the advent of quality photography and artificial intelligence, they had to take a sample from the thread itself to be able to determine the age. And of course, when you take a sample from something that's 250 years old, you destroy it. And so people don't want to do that anymore. So with the quality photographs that I got, we were able to determine age, location of manufacture, who the lineage is here in the piece, what's the thread count of the silk thread count, the fact that it was done on a hand loom and done not for tourists, but done for what they call devotional thangka. A thangka is just a representation of holy people in Tibet and Nepalese figures. And many times you'll see them done for tourists, and you can buy those for $100, $200. Now, I bought this in Lhasa, Tibet, when I was traveling there 25 years ago, down on the main, it's called the Barkor area, right around the central palace called the Jongkran. And at that point, I was given an option to buy this or another piece. The second piece was human skin, which was tattooed in a full thangka also. And upon the death of the person, I assume upon his death, they took the skin off and dried the skin out. That was a little bit much for me. It felt a little eerie for me to buy something like that. So I chose to buy this one. And for 25 years, I have kept care of this thangka, made sure that it stays in good condition, and researched it as much as possible. And now, as my age is 74 now, I must pass this on to someone else. You know, it's said in collecting Buddhist artifacts, especially Buddha figurines, you are never the owner of a Buddha, you're only the caretaker of a Buddha.